In 1998, the once great Japanese gaming company Konami introduced the world to the scenic American town of Silent Hill, a beautiful rural hamlet best known for its recent inclusion on Forbes' list of worst places to live. And then die. Horribly. Let's draw this bad boy. Greetings all, my name is Kontrol. I'm a veteran gamer with a knack for drawing. You're watching the latest in a series of gaming pinup videos, so if you enjoyed the show, think about hitting the like button on your way out and subscribe for more. So, about the subject of this week's video. Man down. Okay, this game might not be for everyone. Like a lot of the stuff we showcase on this channel, the truly terrifying Silent Hill is a decades-old property. This means all the usual sorcery is in play. Comic books, the obligatory book series, spin-off games, terrible live-action movies, etc. Silent Hill is unique though in that it's based on a very real New England town. Now the video game presents this place as a literal portal to hell itself, shrouded in deep fog at the best of times, and at its worst, transforming into nightmarish alternate reality, filled with rusted metal, dangling corpses, streaks of blood, and aggressive mutated psychopaths. So yeah, Detroit basically. So I was interested in hearing a first-hand account from someone who has actually vacationed in Silent Hill to see if the place is just getting a bad rap from Konami Japan. And so then, Kontrol Incorporated is very happy to welcome Mrs. Hilda Boxbottom, who agreed to appear on this week's show via telephone to talk about her recent trip. Mrs. Boxbottom, thank you for coming on today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, young man. I'm delighted to appear on this YouTube my grandson's always going on about.
It's great to have you. So, your grandson's a fan of the channel.
I don't think I've ever heard him mention you.
Right. So, I understand you visited Silent Hill a week or so ago with your husband. Do I have that right?
Oh, yes. Chester and I always love visiting the States, and Silent Hill was highly recommended by our travel agent.
Oh, travel agent.
A fine gentleman, Mr. Louis Cypher.
Lucifer. Okay.
Of Ninth Circle Travel, yes. He had the most wonderful infectious laugh whenever we signed one of his documents.
In red ink. Very red.
Yes, how did you know? Lucky guess.
Well, did you notice anything unusual about Silent Hill once you arrived there, Mrs. Boxbottom?
Not at first. You see, it was maddeningly difficult to see anything unusual with that blinding fog covering every inch of the place.
Well, blinding fog itself is kinda unusual, right?
Well, considering what happened over the next 24 hours, odd weather hardly seems worth mentioning.
You made it to your hotel okay, right?
Well, we did make it to the hotel, yes. But I wouldn't call the accommodations okay. No, certainly not.
Problem with the hotel, eh? Well, we've all been there, am I right? No Wi-Fi?
More like no life, die. I realize travelers have differing tastes. Some people actually enjoy a spot of adventure on their journey, but for myself, I generally prefer my vacations to have just a little less dismemberment.
Hey, wait, whoa. Are you about to say the video game Silent Hill is actually an accurate portrayal of life there? With terrifying blood-drenched corridors of psychological horror and existential dread?
And monsters! Don't forget about the monsters!
No. Don't be ridiculous.
Okay, that's a relief.
Video games allow you to start over when you're stabbed to death. I'm reasonably certain the end of your life in Silent Hill is quickly followed by a delicious cup of eternal damnation.
Oh no!
that's the worst kind of damnation.
So you and your husband were attacked by monsters at the hotel?
I'm afraid so, yes. Chester suffered a nasty cut on his shoulder, so we quickly rushed to the Silent Hill Hospital.
Oh no.
Yes, the staff nurse tried to bludgeon us to death without even asking about our insurance carrier.
Well, damn. I'm glad to see at least you made it out okay. I assume Chester is doing all right too.
Oh no, he's dead. Succumbed to his wounds, I'm afraid.
What is happening?
Yes, if you take nothing else away from this interview, know that Silent Hill is a damn dangerous place, and you'd best be fleet of foot and stout of heart if you have any hope of enjoying your visit. For the record, my Yelp review of the place was absolutely scathing.
Mrs. Boxbottom, how did you manage to escape?
Oh, well, once it became clear the local grotesques were beyond reasoning with, I simply picked up a lead pipe and commenced wailing on a bitch.
Ah, good old violence. Is there anything it can't fix?
Well, Mrs. Boxbottom, it sounds like you went through a terrible ordeal. I just hope this experience hasn't put you off of traveling.
Oh no, my family just invited me to visit them for a few weeks near the Arklay Mountains. It's called Raccoon something or other. Anyway, goodbye for now. Kontrol!
Okay, I'm back. Just needed a fresh pair of pants.
Kontrol, these games look like some serious nightmare fuel. Did you really play them all back in the day?
Yes. The first Silent Hill dropped during survival horror fever in the late 90s. Capcom's Resident Evil set the bar, and Konami rose to the challenge with their own take on the genre, and really raised the terror quotient in the process. And yes, at that time, Konami was actually considered a top Japanese game company. The scary stuff in Silent Hill was of a supernatural nature. It brought along Resident Evil's body horror ingredients, but tricked it out with all kinds of unnerving weirdness. You're dropped in a setting that's so surreal and disturbing that the player never feels comfortable at any moment. You don't control skilled officers with comrades, but rather a very vulnerable, ordinary person on a desperate quest. As a superfan of the survival horror concept, I immediately recognized Silent Hill's inspiration and picked it up on launch for the PlayStation 1. The game was literally the scariest thing I'd ever experienced. So scary that after beating it a second time for the good ending, I swore I'd never play it again. And guess what? I haven't. Of course, I didn't have to, because a beautiful sequel showed up on PlayStation 2 with graphics so amazing it was on automatic purchase. Amazingly, Silent Hill 2 and 3 didn't scare me nearly as much as the original, even with their vastly improved graphics, which makes me think there might be something inherently creepy about PlayStation 1's janky low-poly visuals.
Or maybe you were just an older, less easily frightened person by then.
You know I'm too scared to play PT on my PS4 even now, right?
Oh, come on. PT makes The Conjuring look like an episode of Doc McStuffins.
Anyway, my pinup this week is sort of a mishmash of the first 3 Silent Hill games. The relevant games in the series, I like to call them. The first 3 games are the ones the live-action movies use for their source material. I just grabbed the 3 figures from the series casual fans would most easily recognize. So, Heather from Silent Hill 3 sits up front, while wearing her iconic wristbands and cargo vest hoodie combo thing. Very strange look that the makers of Silent Hill Revelations tweaked into something passably of this earth. We have one of the masked nurses who stagger around the halls brandishing weapons and their famously lousy bedside manner. And of course, Pyramid Head, a goon who wears an enormous rusty bucket on his head to hide his identity from the IRS, and carries a giant blade in case they find him. As a subject, Silent Hill naturally calls for more atmosphere than usual, so I opted for a super high contrast Sin City approach, last seen in my Destiny Burning Mall Titan video from back in the day. It basically calls for drawing only the dark areas in the scene and leaving everything else out, including all contour lines. This can make complex compositions tricky to understand, especially when the artist can't be bothered to color the thing. Hopefully it's still fun to examine and figure out. If you think it works, Let me know in the comments below and give the like button a tap on your way out. If you think it's a cosmic bungle and I should be ashamed of myself, give the like button a tap on your way out. And subscribe for future fail. As always, I'm open to suggestions for future videos, so don't be shy about what you'd like to see turn up next on